me something good.
I've been sick all week, so that's not good.
Oh,
I've had gastro, so a few setbacks this week, but yeah, no, things are going all right, mate. We're a bit slow on sales after the big and financial year sale, but um, just focus on trying to bring out some new products, designing, yeah, trying to get that wholesale going, and I got a little bit of a start on it, and just working on that this week, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Nothing super great to tell you, Ben, unfortunately, but yeah, just grinding away and keeping positive.
I mean, that's the way of business. Sometimes it's not always up and away. July can be tricky. Yeah, it's been a strange, like agency wise for us in our core business. We've had a lot of people increasing their spend through July. It looks like there's a lot of pullback in the marketplace after end of financial year, but if you can lean into those new people and get them back for a second or third purchase, it's really beneficial. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that real quick. And it's not for everybody. Like sometimes it's just dependent upon the natural business cycle as well. So hey Brianna, thanks for popping in. I was gonna share anything. So are you still running the ads as well, Troy, and moving the needle that way?
No, I'm not, because I'm still I don't want to waste any money there. I'm like such an amateur at it all. So I'm just
Okay.
trying to get my full understanding, and yeah, I'm not too worried about sales not coming in at the moment. So I'm just trying to get my platform, laid out and understand all the ads and how it all runs, and try to attack it later on down the track. So I'm not too stressed at the moment. I'm just working through the processes, and yeah, that's where I'm at the moment.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll move on unless you got something else that you wanted to jump into.
I
No,
must
mate.
admit we're in the same position as you, Troy. Like we don't want to spend money. Like we want to spend money on them, but we know how bad we are at it. So I've got a few running at the moment, and I'm just looking at them. Like the cost per click is quite low, but I still think they're just not performing like they could. So we definitely need some sort of guidance, even if it's just one to start or to fix, if you will, and then go from there before we have any confidence to do any more money on it. I want to spend money on it because I know that we have to, and it's where we convert.
Yeah, I agree.
Has anyone gotten into module 8 yet? No module 8 yet. Okay. So one thing that's kind of like crucial with ads specifically, and when you're just starting out, is to identify if they're actually like drawing in a conversion or a purchase and how much that purchase is for. So the way that we run a lot of things is actually based on how many new customers that channel is bringing. Because you can have multiple different sales channels. You can have wholesale, you can have like your advertising, you can have PR, you can have your EDM system running, and all of these things are going to bring a different type of traffic. Obviously, we look at things very simply, black and white, because it can be this simple, but you've got your ad system, it's going to be new customer generation. We want to prospect or use those channels as your prospecting channels. And Facebook and Instagram are phenomenal places to start and do that, because there's such a large audience there. But also, it's kind of like the best bang for your buck at the moment. It's always this guessing game with business owners as to what is actually working. How do we actually make this go? So to get it simplified, when you get into module 8, what you're going to see is how we lay things out when you like prior infrastructure to going in and getting your ad set up. And the reason why we do that is so that when you're spending money in that space as a prospecting channel, you end up granting yourself the ability to see if that prospecting channel is actually producing for you. So what we want to look at is how much a new customer costs to bring into the business. And I give you the formulas that you can actually pull in and put into Shopify to see how many new customers you've actually pulled in. The beauty in that is that you can actually create lists inside of Facebook that allow you to not market to a group of people based on their purchasing habits. So if somebody has purchased with you before, you do not want to go and market to them because you need that channel as a new acquisition channel. The flip side to that is when you get your retention machine running properly, that one that brings customers back, ADM is going to be the way to go. So let's just, to keep it super simple, you have your prospecting and acquisition channel for ads, and then your retention system is going to be your email, and everything flows through your website. So that's your storefront. Now, when we have those two systems set up and running, you can essentially run email as your bring back strategy or your retention strategy, get customers to come back to your store. The advertising is all based on trying to get people to purchase their first purchase. And when you're using money to acquire a new customer, it's a good usage of that resource to try and do that, because email doesn't necessarily go out and get new customers. Sometimes it may, like, let's say our abandoned cart sequence, if somebody went shopping with you, left their email, didn't end up buying anything, that abandoned cart sequence will pick them up and try and get them to come back through email. So that's in an instance where it could help with a conversion. But that's the whole point of, like, when you get to that system and you put all these things in place, you're going to have this thing that trickles down. And that's why we go from financial modeling into the right conversion platform, your website, then your ads, and then your EDMs, so that you can nurture your entire database of people that you're marketing to, but also getting to come back. Is that making sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So when you get to the financial modeling, and this is like the one thing that matters, is, am I buying a new customer and am I buying them at a profit? Because if you can get to break even as a business, let's say you know all of your operating expenses, what your break even is, then anything after that, as long as your NCPA or your new customer acquisition cost is low enough, you're going to be making profit on all those purchases from there on out. So that makes it a lot more of a logical model to work from as a business owner. And you can kind of just make a map and a goal every single month where I need to hit, because you know your operating expenses is a base. We just need to get up and above that. Make sure that our ads are bringing a customer at a profitable rate. What questions do we have about that? Because that's a lot of me talking.
I appreciate
Come
that
on,
that's the
guys.
top of the funnel. In our case, like, I think obviously the answer would probably be both, but is it talking about sort of building brand or educating customers at that level? Because for us, we're talking about something that's a bit new, so it gets people's attention, but I don't know whether to make it all about something cool and funky, or to just say, here's something that you can get and this is the benefits of it, and sort of educate. Like, I don't know which way to go. Is it just like in your face branding cool, or is it, you know, here's something new that you can use and here's how?
Well, this is where you kind of got to look at your consumer and who you're trying to talk to. Like, why pick a product that you like to buy, Brianna, online? Like, what's the last thing you purchased online?
Makeup. I like makeup.
Okay, makeup,
Yeah.
perfect. So when you see something online, it's like, if you were to like reverse engineer what your competitors are doing, what is it that they're doing to try and get an initial customer? Or what did you see in order to make that purchase?
Yeah. Okay.
So success leaves clues. Doesn't always give us the answer, but it always leaves clues. So
yeah.
What you can do, all of you, is go and look at what your competitor is doing. Most often, competitors are going to be running discounts, some sort of offer, might be something in regards to the season, such as like end of financial year, Mother's Day, could be Lucky Charms Day, Irish Day, could be anything. So when we look at those, if you have like a particular strategy, then you can kind of go, well, hey, I'm going to run this particular offer or new product drop, or like Brianna, you guys have your pink, what was it?
Yeah, we have
Plastic pink,
seasonal.
is that right?
Yeah, plastic pink. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The Barbie.
So plastic pink, kind of in relation to Barbie and the launch, like that's something you guys can you can start talking about that now, if you haven't already. Start.
Can I just jump in there, because
Yeah,
we
Tiana,
just
go.
came out with new gym shorts, and we called the color Barbie. So we're using the whole Barbie trend, and something that we've been using is we went on the Barbie movie Instagram page and started using their sounds.
Oh, what a great
At
idea.
the moment, saying, "Hey Barbie, hi Ken," and we were like using it, and that kind of went off. But just keep saying like Barbie and bringing it back in with the Barbie trend. It's been going really good, and like the customers have been loving it, because obviously I'm blonde and I kind of look like Barbie when I'm wearing the pink. So it's just always it's all working out. So it's a good thing.
Lucas, we just need to get you a wig or something. I don't know, a bit of a Ken look. We can make you Ken. You got blue eyes. He's pretty.
Perfect.
I think he's just swigged like a VB there. It's just going, no, mum. But that's Lucas. Can you do that? Can you activate, go on to TikTok and save a few trends and sounds on Instagram, on TikTok, please? We do really well on sharing other people's content. So like, that's a great idea. Thank you so much, Tiana. I really appreciate that. Is it, sorry, how do you pronounce your name?
Tiana, yeah.
Tiana, it is Tiana. Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, you said right.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you for that, guys. That's really good. Something I kind of picked up on listening to you all like over the last kind of month and a half was that end of financial year strategy gave like kind of a foundation for a lot of you to work from. Something that I'm working on, and I'm just going to share my screen really quick so that you can see what this is. Basically, we created this strategy guide for our internal agency purposes, but it's essentially a calendar of all the different times each month, what you could be kind of activating on, and the strategy that you can use. So what I'm going to be doing is pulling this in. I have to create it more structured, but each month I want to give each strategy that we can pull to the table for you, and you guys can kind of grab onto them. Now, keep in mind that offers are great to activate on. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to always be on sale or be a discount brand, because a lot of more of the high ticket brands, they don't like going on sale. But if you have an exclusive Barbie bundle, for example, people are just more inclined to affiliate with that particular thing based on whatever activation you're doing. So you can see like June was end of financial, Father's Day in the US, Click Frenzy, Pride Month. You can kind of look at all of these different things, and we've created key ones. So Amazon Prime Day was a monstrous success here in Australia, believe it or not. We didn't activate on it too much. It wasn't really in alignment with a lot of the businesses that we have. But what's funny is people will just, you don't even need to be on Amazon, and you could say Prime Day sale, and people will still come and buy from you, even though you're not on Amazon. So there's just stuff like that that you can lean on. And we've got the different like key peaks through the year, because we want essentially 4 key peak periods throughout the year that we can activate on, so that business is kind of always getting those peaks rather than having the troughs. And you pick those key peaks throughout the year that you want to activate on, so that you have like a cyclical effect through the year, meaning you're going to constantly have those points that you lean on. So an easy 2 are obviously end of financial year and Black Friday. And what we like to try and get brands to do is pick another 2 to lean on, up to another 6. So anywhere from 6 to 8 total is really strong for brands to have, because then you've got something to talk about nearly every month, and there's less down period. And it gives you something to talk about rather than trying to, crack your noggin and figuring out what the heck we should do next. So what we're going to do is build this out a little bit more structured for you, so that it's a definitive strategy that we can give to you a month in advance for every month. So that's kind of a plan that I've gone through and I've talked to the team about. I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight on how we're going to be doing that. Is there any questions about like the 4 peaks or how that works?
Yeah, do you want to just go into it just a little bit more? The four peaks just being cultural moment, your normal cyclical product activation. So when you would normally seasonally move your product at certain times. So for us, it would be Go Skate Day, Pride Month is huge. You know, we would probably add some Patrick's Day in there and that kind of stuff. Yeah, could you just double click into that just a little bit? I get it, but I'd love to see how you use it.
Yeah, so when we work with businesses, a lot of times they'll have a very random product launch. They won't be working off of key event periods. So what we like to do is get a little bit more structured, and this actually aligns with our retention schedule as well, or what we call our email hit list. So we, as a consulting firm and service provider, will actually go in and build out all the emails for a business in the year based on the periods that they want to go and activate on. What that does is we can then backtrack on the strategy coming into that month, and we know what's going to happen. So to answer your question fully is like, if you look at the year as there's going to be 4 key areas as a minimum as a business that you want to hit on, that are going to be your big activations, your big kind of sales period that you choose to pick on. So as you mentioned, end of financial year and Black Friday are going to be great for everyone and anyone in e-commerce, but it's going to be different for every business. So for your particular business, Brianne and Lucas, you mentioned Pride Day. So that's probably going to be something that you really go and hit hard on. There's those micro activations such as like Barbie that's coming out. You're leaning into that. That's smart. But you could do Easter. You could do different times of year based on when you know sales are going to be slow. So something I go through with the historical data side of things in the financial module, when you all get there, is you can actually go and map out your business and all the historical data that you have for it. That's valuable because of all the businesses that we have, nothing's random. Everything operates on the same cycles inside their business until we bring in a new activation that we put into place. So when they have a low dip, and they have for the last 2 years, let's say, we can put in a new peak in there, and it prevents that lull or that low period inside of that month. It doesn't always work to the same as like an end of financial or Black Friday, but it helps accommodate those lulls in business, because it's like riding a roller coaster no matter. And I have lots of case studies that I kind of go through in the financial module to show you that. Does that make sense, Brianna? Anyone else have more questions about that into more detail? Did I explain that clear enough?
No, that's perfect. And I loved how honest you were, that launches tend to be a little bit ad hoc, and sort of slimming them down and pulling them into a strategy is it's something we've been trying to do, but you've just put words around it. So thank you for that. That made me feel awfully guilty.
Well, apologies, but you're welcome.
No, in a good way. We knew that it was, it's something we're aware of,
Yeah. To be honest, most business owners in e-com, like we've seen people running 300K per month businesses, and they're still shoot from the hip every month, which it's okay. Like that's how they've always functioned, and it's last minute, very stressful, 12-hour days, and that's just how they run their business. But that's kind of where you got to make your decision. You get some people that are extraordinarily organized and well put together, and other people that operate from that point of chaos. I'm a chaos operator. I like things last minute and shoot from the hip. That's how I've always operated. But as you start to build business, you start to learn, I need to have these operations, structures, and frameworks in place in order to make things work. So I've had to implement those, especially with a course like this, hence why I love Ivy Lee so much. It gives me structure and framework to work from on the day, week, and year. Alon, let's jump over to you. Anything good? What's happening in your world?
I'm going to launch my new Shopify website. I'm moving from WordPress for the last maybe 3 years. So I'm excited.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to happen, I think, today or tomorrow. So yeah, I've been working on that for the last week. And for me, as I said to
Amazing.
you last call, sales looks good. I'm not sure. I think it's the floor wipes that getting momentum and helping
Mhm.
my business. So yeah, like this month looks good for me. The last month it's pretty consistent, and it will be interesting to see what's happened after I will move to Shopify, because you know there is a lot of noises from both sides saying different things. So yeah, what is your thought? Here.
Between those two,
Yeah,
I'm a huge proponent for Shopify just due to integrations, the ability to see pixel tracking. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than like a WooCommerce, Wix, some of those other platforms. So we do prefer Shopify with any of our customers. 98% of our customers, so basically all of them but 2, are on Shopify in our consulting framework that we have. So yeah, we've moved people away from the WordPress and been able to just do a lot more interesting things with their businesses to grow them. It's easier, but also allows us to just grant more insight into what we're doing. So yeah, very exciting that you're jumping over there. Please lean on us if you need anything. Just jump in the chat there, the web dev chat, and I can get Mac to help you out if you need anything. If you want us to do like run a little audit once it's done. Did you build it or did you get someone else to build it?
So it's my current website with someone that helped me to build it, and yeah, we implement some new things, some old stuff, but yeah, I would love you to guys have a look at this when it's launch, and just to hear your thoughts. And
yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Just let me know when you've launched it in the web dev chat, and we'll get Mac to go and run his eyes through it and see if he can find anything for you.
Cool.
Beautiful. Anything else on your end, Alon? Any questions?
No, at the moment, nothing.
Okay, beautiful. Mr. Ben, the newest member, how you doing? If he's there. There he is.
Good, thanks. Sorry, I turned the camera off. I'm at work, but I'm sitting in the kitchen. This is my partner Beck. She's involved in this with me too. She's listening
Hi,
in
Beck.
too.
Ah, beautiful. Good stuff.
We manage a hardware
Whereabouts-
store. We're on the Central Coast, just outside Gosford. So we're starting BitBuddy as sort of a side business for us. We don't have any plans in leaving the hardware store, but it'd be good to have something else on the side. So, yeah, we've had a good week so far. We've got no stock BitBuddies left, so we've got 1,000 on order. We're going to fly 500 over and wait for 500 for the boat. Basically, we want to just increase our shopping cart size at the moment. Yeah, we've got to get more products to sell, basically. You guys were talking about Facebook ads. We've been spending a fair bit on Facebook ads lately. We run it through a platform called Magix. I don't know if anyone's used it before or looked at it before, but it's sort of an AI-involved Facebook marketing platform. Yeah, it's worked wonders for us, but it could be just the product that we do.
So what platform is that? And can you expand on that a little bit, please?
It's called Magix, Madgix. Basically, it logs into your Facebook page, your Shopify page, your Facebook ads, your Shopify ads, and they've got another program that they call their cloud tracking. So when they updated iOS 14, the Facebook pixel lost a lot of tracking. That's right, Ben, I think.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
And so Magix have created a tool that will read what sales or what viewed checkouts or whatever else your categories are on your Shopify store and shoot it back to Facebook and say, this is what's actually happening. So you get a more defined data set out of it. So we've, yeah.
So it's a tracking analytics type of thing, or?
Tracks the analytics, but you manage the whole Facebook journey through Magix. Yeah, I think it's about $50 US a month. So it's I don't know. For us, it's worked wonders. We've only had our ads on for 2 weeks, and we've had 85 sales through the website already. So it's pumping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real good.
But that's about all I've got. Unless someone wants to go to China and get some stock for me.
We want to go to China too, because oh my God, you want to try and choose colours, mate.
We just had 2 of our staff actually went down to the expo. It was a textiles expo in Sydney, I believe, just last week on Wednesday. It was pretty incredible. If you get an opportunity to go and see one of those expos, I recommend anybody to go and do it. Not even just textile, but if it's in something like, I can't remember what they call all of them, but there's different expositions that they have for different industries. Like you can see where every clothing manufacturer buys their stuff from. They have a monstrous one in China as well. You basically can't walk from one end to the other in a day because there's just so much stuff. But you can see where Adidas or Adidas buys their stuff, Nike, Kim K, all of those distributors are on show in those. So it's very cool if you get the opportunity to go. I just wanted to make a note too with any of those AI platforms. Ben, I'd be keen to have a chat and maybe look at what those guys are doing. I've seen 3 other like AI platforms as well that have had trouble with the Facebook ad side of things. So if they found the magic bullet, the reality is basically the offline tracking and a few different things, and we get into this in the ads module. We'll show you a little bit more definitive ways to track your users, and that's why we look at going for new traffic or new NCPA. So I'm very curious to have a look at that, Ben, and I'll go and look into it. Maybe hit you up for it as well.
More than happy to show you the whole lot anytime.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because if there's something that we haven't found, then that's always good to dive into.
It's not so much writing ad copy or pictures or anything like that. It's constantly measuring your like return on ad spend, your click-through rates, your website purchase costs, and then it'll adjust your budget depending on how well it's going. So if you've got a return on ad spend of, I don't know, how's it sitting at 3.7% today, or 3.7 times? So if it goes well today, tomorrow they'll bump the budget a bit. I think it possibly could turn into a trap where you end up spending $1,000 a day. I'm still monitoring it pretty closely just to make sure.
Yeah, have seen that happen with those platforms, and that's why there's just something to keep an eye on. If anyone else is looking into that, that's why we do everything manually. So we manage budgets daily inside of our consulting model, just because it helps us look into what's actually working, what's not, and then we can clearly identify the different metrics. So when you get into the ads module, it does show you that into more detail. But I'm going to have a look at this with you, Ben, and see what it's doing for you. I'm very curious. Just a quick rip. Is there anything else anyone wants to cover quick just before I jump off? Any major questions?
I did have a question. I just had a customer from the US. I've never had this happen before. She said that her package didn't arrive. In this case, for future reference on my policy, my shipping policy, it's hard because I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. Obviously, the address lines up and it says it was delivered, and I followed up with AusPost and the other courier. Do I give a store credit or no refund whatsoever if this happens in the future? Like, what's the best? What do other people do? Because I actually don't know. This has never happened before, and I feel like it could happen a lot, possibly.
From our end, and I mean, if some of you want to jump in as well, feel free. But from our end, we have a few different infrastructure models for that, Tiana. There's somewhere they just do a store credit, somewhere they'll just do the full refund to keep customers happy. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to get a lot of these. It's very small, but again, you just kind of have to go with like a policy, put it in place and stick to it.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's better to keep those customers happy and just be like, hey, here's a full refund. And by the way, here's the review. Could you please, here's a review platform. Please give us a 5-star review if you get the opportunity to. And I've just sent you another free item. And then that way they're just like, yeah, for reviews, this is amazing. And it kind of helps with, keeping people happy sort of thing. But yeah, write it into your policy. Have a think about what you want that policy to be. And I can get you a couple other ones for that as well. Some different models or ways of doing that if you like.
We went on Princess Polly and quite a few different back ends and had a look at theirs, and we just made our own from theirs. So feel free to have a look at ours because we've cherry picked. So
That's
if you
exactly
want.
what
I'm not sure if it's
wasn't-
beautiful, Ben, so apologies.
That's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good to learn from other people that are doing it, and you just kind of have to pick, because there's so many different variations to how things are done. Some people don't even give a refund, they say store credit only. Some people do refunds, some people do partial refunds. Again, a lot of different ways of doing it. Just make sure it's in your T's and C's when people are looking. If they need to go and look, it'll be on your website. Policy returns, if you don't have that on your website, it's something you can put in.
Yeah,
But yeah, just have a peek at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I do have another call, you guys, so if there's anything else that you need, please jump into the Slack. I'd be more than happy to help out with more. I'll see if I can get you a few different variations of policy there, Deanna, and we can kind of run with that. But yeah, if anyone has any other questions, please reach out in Slack. Thanks very much for hopping on today.